10 actor money mistakes. Hey everyone, I'm Matthew Cornwell with Get Taped here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of Atlanta's original audition taping services, which I co-own with my amazingly talented, beautiful wife and best friend, Brooke. And now on to our topic. 10 actor money mistakes. Listen, there are a ton of different voices out there asking for your money. Heck, on this channel alone, we advertise our classes and workshops, which cost money. And side note, you should do your due diligence, yes, even on us, before taking advantage of anything that we're offering. And you will invest thousands of dollars in your career before you start to see a return on that investment. In fact, look at this chart that shows money spent versus money earned over the course of the first, let's say, 10 years of your career. These aren't specific numbers, but more of a general representation of what you should expect in those early years as an actor. It's what I experienced. Essentially, over the first 10 plus years of my career, I still had not broken even. That is, the thousands of dollars I'd put into classes and headshots and all the other actor expenses that kept adding up year after year. It took a long time before the accumulated revenue I was making through acting caught up to those expenses and eventually exceeded them. Now, in my defense, those early years in Atlanta were when there was not much of an industry here, at least not for TV and film. Once that part of the industry exploded, that was the more lucrative side of things for me. That's when I started making more money and eventually broke even. So with that example as a backdrop, you can see how essential it is for actors to scrutinize how they spend their money. And so here are 10 mistakes actors make in regards to money. And this could happen at the beginning of your career and sometimes much later in your career if you're not careful. Paying for access to auditions. You have to scrutinize anyone who is asking for your money, but especially if they are promising access to audition opportunities. Usually this is in the form of a subscription website. The lure of those potential opportunities will cause actors to spend month after month in subscription fees for something that is probably not legitimate. They might be giving you access to legitimate jobs on occasion, but here's the thing. If those jobs are legitimate, I guarantee you can find them elsewhere for free. Now, as a corollary, some of these websites offer free access to the audition opportunities themselves, but they charge you to upload video like a demo reel or to have more than one headshot. While some of those websites might be legitimate, be careful about how much money you are giving them. More is not necessarily more when it comes to putting up extra headshots, for instance. Acting for free for too long. So in the beginning of your career, I would highly encourage you to take every opportunity you can to be on a set, whether it's a student set, a low-budget independent film set, whatever. And it's very common at those early stages to work for free in exchange for that invaluable set experience. However, at some point, the balance shifts and your contribution to the project starts to outweigh the value of that experience that you're getting. And while that shift is hard to track, you do need to be discerning about when it's time to stop working for free. See, many actors are scared of missing out on something, and that's a fear mindset. It's a lack mindset. And that FOMO will cause you to do things that, upon reflection, you wish you hadn't done. It keeps you from accepting your true value as an artist. Endlessly paying for casting director workshops. Okay, this is a little bit of a gray area because I know why actors pay for these workshops, and I know why the casting directors offer these workshops. It's not a secret, but please know why you are signing up for that workshop and don't sign up for every single one that you see. Do your homework. For instance, does this casting director come from an acting background, or have they been doing this for more than a decade? Well, if so, then you might actually walk away with some good feedback about your craft. You might get some good nuggets moving forward. But aside from that rarity, you just understand that you're basically paying for FaceTime with that casting director. But what happens when they pack that class full of actors and there's more than 25 or 30 of you on Zoom or in person, and suddenly you don't even get the FaceTime you were hoping for? Plus, in your research, which you should be doing for that casting director, you may discover that the projects they cast are not the type of projects you're going to book. Or you might realize they haven't cast anything in years, and they might be just doing this for the money. Be discerning about how you spend your money. Attending one-day acting workshops. Okay, so now let's talk about legitimate acting workshops. You know, the ones that they offer on a Saturday for 3 to 5 hours. As a side note, there are some scammy type workshops that are offered in a single day like this, but for this discussion, I'm just talking about the ones that are actually legitimate, that seem like a worthy investment of your money. Clearly, this well-meaning acting teacher who may have decades upon decades of experience, they are not expecting to change your craft in one day. They are arming you with tools that could potentially change your craft, but only if you have the discipline to put them into practice. So before you sign up for that one-day workshop, ask yourself if you're looking for a new habit, if you're looking for a new routine as it relates to your audition prep or your on-set prep. Because if you were just hoping to get some sort of quick fix in that one-day workshop, save your money. It's not going to happen. Headshots before you're ready. Okay, if you're still at the point where you don't have representation, maybe you've had an acting class or you're in your first acting class right now, and I'm talking about post-high school, post-college, it's still probably too early to get your headshots. Please don't rush into getting headshots because they're gonna suck if you do. Sorry, not sorry. You're either going to hire someone who's not really a headshot photographer, like maybe they're a wedding photographer or they do portraits for corporate America or something, or you're going to spend $700 on that recommendation you got, expecting that fancy photographer from LA to know exactly how to make you look real and natural and authentic. Spoiler alert, that's not their job. They can't control what is happening inside this. They can only control that background, whether it's out of focus or in focus, how well you're lit, are you in focus, etc. All the rest of it, the essential ingredient to a good headshot, which is, does it represent you? That's not their job. That's your job. And you might be too green to understand that or to have figured that out yet. But if you don't know how you will be seen by future casting directors, how you will be cast, then you'll just get beautiful pictures, but they will not serve you and your acting career. And then not only have you paid for a worthless headshot session, but you'll be paying for another one in about 6 months once you realize that those first ones are crap. Character headshots. Okay, both the new actor and the seasoned actor can fall victim to this one. Perhaps someone told you at a Q&A, or you were watching an Instagram video with a casting director or some other voice of wisdom in the industry, and you either misheard them or they shouldn't have told you to get extra headshots and to put them on your profiles on all the actor websites that represent different characters you can portray, etc., etc. Please don't. Just don't. See, I don't need separate headshots for doctor, lawyer, and police officer. I can use one headshot to represent all of those ambiguous authority figures. So I certainly should not go out and buy or rent a cop shirt with a badge and maybe even like a name tag that says Cornwell. Wouldn't that be clever? No, don't do it. I should not go out and buy a white lab coat and a stethoscope or that little reflector thing for your forehead to show you that I can be a doctor. No, don't do it. Those decisions, at best, will get you an eye roll from casting or whoever is seeing the headshot. And at worst, it could get you dismissed altogether, overlooked, passed on, thrown away, never to be seen again. It is considered a rookie mistake, and so many actors, yes, even seasoned actors, are still doing this. More subtly, people are trying to target shows with their headshot. Ooh, I need to get my HBO Last of Us headshot. Ooh, I need to get my Apple TV After Party headshot. And while this isn't as bad as buying the stethoscope or the lab coat, etc., you could still be wasting your money. And before I get lost down a rabbit hole, this is too nuanced of a discussion to have in this video. So either search our channel for previous videos on headshots or look forward to a new one where I might clarify that even more. The bottom line is, if you hate taking headshots, or if you expect that photographer to be responsible for making you look natural and authentic, you're sorely mistaken. In fact, you should come to our next Sam Christensen image process free preview to learn more about how to get amazing headshots and to never dread the headshot session ever again. As of the recording of this video, our next one is actually over Zoom this Wednesday, January 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's virtual, so you can join from anywhere in the world. Check out the show notes below for a link to RSVP. Buyouts for non-union commercials. Before you've made the inevitable leap to being a union actor, especially if you're in Los Angeles or New York, you'll be tempted to take offers for non-union commercials with terrible terms in the contract. In fact, I remember this one breakdown that I saw that was publicly available, didn't need my agent, that was for a popular product. I can't remember whether it was like sports apparel or alcohol or what sector it was from, but it was a one-day shoot. They promised to get you in and out within 4 hours. It paid $1,000 on the spot. So you mean I don't have to wait 60 to 120 days to get my money, and I don't have to worry about giving a commission to my agent? Cha-ching! That is until you see the terms of the contract. And without fail, every single one of those too good to be true jobs will have something in the contract that says, in perpetuity, in all media across the universe, which basically means they own those images that they record forever and ever, never having to pay you another dime again. So they could recut that commercial 1,000 times. They don't owe you anything. They could sell your footage to another company. They don't owe you anything. They could sell your image to a stock footage library, and countless brands could be using that footage till the end of time and never pay you a dime. And if the original spot you shot was in a big category like automobiles, alcohol, fast food, insurance, etc., then you could potentially not book anything else in that space for the rest of your career, because that forever buyout might scare away the rival companies from ever considering you in the future. So that $1,000 today actually can represent 6 figures worth of losses over the next 10, 15, 20 years. Avoiding representation to save money. Over the years, I've been on many sets where I've overheard conversations, usually from background actors, where they seem to think they've been told or indoctrinated into this idea that agents are scams. You don't need an agent to succeed. And if you believe this, it follows that you could build an entire career never paying anyone else a dime, keeping all that money for yourself. Sorry, not true. Myth busted. You see, casting directors trust agents. That's why they only send the big roles, the good roles, the juicy roles to agents. They don't send them out into the public websites that you're currently trolling right now. It's their first line of defense against everyone and their brother submitting for these roles. They're trying to avoid having to cull through the green actors and the unprofessional actors. It creates an essential bottleneck, if you will. And hot take, even though you're paying that agent a 10% commission on each job, if they get you access to more opportunities and you end up booking more and those pay more than the jobs you had access to without the agent, then you net more money, i.e. there's more money in your bank account at the end of the year. Sounds pretty good, right? Getting a manager too early. And speaking of representation, many actors, especially those here in the southeastern US, expand their team prematurely. It's actually common in New York or LA to start with a manager and then use that manager to help get an agent eventually. Here in the Southeast, it's the reverse. You start with an agent and then eventually, if necessary, you add the manager. Anecdotally, most of the actors that seek management here in the Southeast are doing it for the wrong reasons and much too early in their career. They're unhappy with the size of the roles they're currently booking or have access to, and they think that the manager is going to magically change that for them. And most of the time it doesn't, and they just end up paying that extra commission, anywhere from 5 to 20%, and it's all for nothing. They're not making more money at the end of the year. In other words, that manager is not earning their commission. They're just taking that commission from you, and that's not good math. Now, having said that, if you're discerning and if you know the right time, which is something you can discuss with your current representation, adding a manager to your team or just expanding your team in general might be the perfect decision to leveling up your career. wasting your money, energy, and resources. This last one is sort of a catch-all broad category for those things you're doing that cost money that are sort of working in opposition to your career. In short, be careful how you're spending your hard-earned money in your personal life. If you're going out to eat every night, buying $8 lattes every morning, and have a gym membership you haven't used in 6 months, you need to take a hard look at your money habits. Additionally, if you're spending a lot of time going out drinking, partying, doing other things, you're not really setting yourself up for success when you finally do book that series regular job. Start building the habits now that will serve you when you do get that opportunity later, instead of just throwing caution to the wind and going out late and compromising your sleep and compromising your health and compromising your bank account, just hoping that when money finally does come in and when you finally do get that opportunity, that somehow magically all your habits are going to change, or that somehow when you're working 12 to 14-hour days, you'll be able to also manage that crazy lifestyle that you currently have. As I said before in many videos, this is not an easy career. You need discipline, persistence, determination, an indomitable spirit. So hopefully those 10 categories of money mistakes were helpful to you. If you have any comments, please drop them below. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.